Have you ever been to someone's house and you're looking around and you see something that's like totally out of the ordinary? Like, how did they afford that? I thought they only made 40 grand a year. This doesn't make any sense. That's what today is all about. We're talking about things that scream that people are bad with money or kind of clue you in that their financial priorities are not exactly in order. If you're new around here, I'm Lena. We talk all things money. Be sure to give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe. DoorDash and Uber Eats bags left everywhere because they don't cook. So I've done some DoorDash delivering myself, and it's interesting the places that you're delivering to. It's not necessarily in the most upscale neighborhoods or the nicest units. That always made me question, like, how did they afford that $15 delivery fee on top of the $50 for the food? That's just like atrocious to me. Sometimes it just feels like you just need to get delivery because life is overwhelming, and I totally understand that, and I think that happens to everybody. But if it's always a habit and you don't really have money for it, that's kind of sketch. Living in a huge house that they bought recently. So this is a user submitted list on BuzzFeed. So I think this one's kind of interesting because they're like, well, the housing market is obnoxious right now. Interest rates are high. No one should be buying a house. I know interest rates are not great, but if you can't afford that house, you have your down payment saved, it's the right time for you. It doesn't really matter what the market looks like if it's the right moment for you and your financial situation. It's never gonna feel like a good time to buy a house, except maybe 30 years ago. I hear a lot of talk about people waiting until the interest rates go down to buy a house, but you know that's just going to drive the prices of houses up, and then it's going to be unaffordable in a different way. So to me, it's not really about what the housing market is like. It's not really what interest rates are like. It's whether or not I can afford it. No groceries, but super expensive appliances. Is this like those people that only have juice in their fridge? This just makes me think of like Khloe Kardashian and like all the special juices that are just in her fridge. It's not like she's going to cook for herself in her main fancy kitchen, but she has a stocked fridge, but not with things that you would cook. Are fancy appliances just a sign like, I have my life together, but then really you're not actually using them? Inflatable hot tub. I actually think this is brilliant because in another video I was talking about you don't have a bunch of really expensive things at your house that you don't actually use. So if you know you're a hot tub person, sure, buy a hot tub. But how do you know if you're a hot tub person? You buy an inflatable hot tub first and see if you actually use it. And if you actually use it, maybe it's worth investing in a more expensive one. So I think this could be a great stepping stone to see if it's really worth the investment. 2 refrigerators. This user is talking about how it probably means you're buying in bulk because it's cheaper, but then you don't actually end up using that because that's what happened to them during the pandemic when they overbought. I can see this going both ways. In some ways, I do buy in bulk. We go to Costco, we buy all the meat for the entire month, but I don't have like 2 freezers fulls of meat. I think buying in bulk works to a certain extent, but sometimes I feel like people get really obsessed with buying in bulk and then you're not really using everything, as this person is saying, and things are going to waste, and then you're overbuying and you're spending all this money now, but then whether or not you're actually going to use it in the future is debatable, and you're paying to store it. So, mixed bag. A high-end, impractical car. Yeah, I mostly agree with this. Unless you're loaded, you're a net worth millionaire, you have money to blow, all your retirement accounts are just totally set, having an overpriced car does not seem like a good plan. We need some level of practicality for normal life. Unless it's a collector's item and is somehow appreciating, it's probably not worth it to have that car sitting in your driveway. A room full of sneakers. So this person's friend has a 1-bedroom apartment and an entire room is dedicated just to the shoes. I know people are obsessed with their shoes collection, but this does not make any sense to me. I probably have maybe 8 pairs of shoes, maybe less actually. So this whole shoe collection thing does not make sense to me, especially if obviously you're living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Yeah, spending money on a huge TV, all the gamer setups, all the games, all the fancy electronics, but then neglecting everything else. The uncomfy couch, the broken AC. This person says that they're no longer friends with this person because there was no AC. Okay, that seems a little extreme too, but priorities, I guess? AC is definitely a priority in my life and gaming is not, so I don't really get this one. A rundown house with really nice cars, trucks, and big ticket items. Every time we spend on one of those big ticket items like that fancy car, we're saying no to saving for something else, like the nicer house. Yes, it'll take longer and more effort to save for a house and to save save for a car, but that savings can really pay off in the long term. And this one's great, a Cybertruck. Now there's been lots of buzz about Cybertrucks, but you have to admit that Cybertrucks are definitely interesting looking and kind of a novelty item, but at this point probably really overpriced, and their value has been dropping like a rock. So even if you could just wait a few years and then buy one, but I can totally see the thrill of buying the new exciting thing that looks like a trash can. What do you see people spending their money on that screams to you that their money situation is not as pretty as they would like you to believe? If you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you in the next one. Bye for now.